Stafford, A.J. Green, Marquez Pope, Reggie Brown, Noshawn Marino, Muhammad Massaquoi, Rodney Hilton.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Herschel Talkers. We missed the last 2 weeks out on hiatus. It was bye week 1 week, and last week, technical difficulties, people's schedules. We were on the way to cocktail party, or I love the way Brad Nessler called it, the world's largest reception. That was a great quote. We got Sean on the phone. How we doing, Sean?
Doing great. How you doing, Trey?
Doing good. Also later we're going to have Jeff, 1-800-SALTON-1 with another guest appearance. Question is, Sean, does your feet still hurt?
Honestly, they're feeling a little tight right now. Yeah, a little cramped.
Because both my feet are still hurting from kicking that Gator ass. Hey, hashtag sticking it in, putting the whooping on them. Hey, we're also a.k.a. hashtag coach killers. We're getting Butch Jones. I don't know why he's not fired. And Swamp Donkey. I guess he can't be called Swamp Donkey anymore. Jill McElwain. He's got his writing notice.
Swamp Donkey until he gets another job.
Exactly. So he's still Swamp Donkey. But anyway, that was great. Great Georgia beatdown, 42-7. Loved every minute of it. We were in line probably 30 minutes getting in the cocktail stadium, Everbank. Terrible ticket entrance. Gave you the frisk down. But it was 14-0 before we got in the stadium. We probably got in there midway through the first quarter, but we enjoyed it. That last touchdown, I'm not even counting that. They had guys from out of the stadium, alumni coming on the field. They just got some bunch of bums, 11 guys for that last touchdown. Anyway, 42-7, it was great. What was your thoughts about the game, pros and cons, Sean, from the cocktail party?
I mean, honestly, I feel like this is, Georgia, I think under Mark Rick and under, going into Jim Donnan and some of these other guys, it's just been such a mental game where, we kind of, beat ourselves and, we were in our own head. And this one just, Kirby, had them focused and really had them treat it like any other game, and they just handled business, to be completely honest with you. I think it kind of helps that, Florida's players were kind of cocky and mouthed off about how Georgia couldn't beat Florida. I think it just kind of added a little bit of extra incentive. And, Florida was just completely outmatched, out-talented, outclassed, out-motivated in that game. To me, what's kind of scary is that Georgia really, I think, played even close to their best game. And, they still won by 35. They went through, strong, times in that game, or, substantial periods of time in that game, I should say, where, we didn't really do much on offense. And then, we would just kind of wake up after Florida, made some dirty, plays and some cheap shots, and then just kind of smacked them in the mouth again. I think getting up early 21-0, was just kind of a statement like, hey, you want to talk that junk, you got to be able to back it up, which you can. Then at that point, once I think we realized we're kind of a better team, I think we got into a little bit of a lull there for a while. Going into the third quarter, I think Florida started to play a little bit dirty, which is when you saw us kind of punch him in the mouth with that long touchdown by Sony, and then the fumble recovery for a touchdown. At that point, it was just coasting.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing I didn't realize going into the third quarter in the first 8 games, Georgia's only given up 3 points in the third quarter, which is great. I think that basically shows you great halftime adjustments. It's either that or Kirby has a meltdown and chews their ass out. But I think that's a great stat. Jeff, as a neutral fan, what was your thoughts on the game? And
honestly,
you kind of called it.
I actually I was juggling between the Penn State game, and that game just sucked. I hate Ohio State. That was just disgusting to watch. And the Penn State offensive coordinator should be a shit can for that fourth quarter play call. That's a disgrace. Right. To be honest, I saw 21-0. I knew you guys had it well at ease. I didn't really pay too much attention. Mm-hmm. As I told you, last time, I figured that Georgia would whip the shit out of the Gators. You had that feeling. This was one of those, if you want to look at the number, Georgia, I think this was the only second time in the series history they're a double-digit favorite.
Yep.
Florida's owned them for won 15 in the last 18 or something god absurd.
21 out of 27, that's right.
Yep. So if the opportunity presented itself, you knew Georgia was going to put the dick in the dirt and just bury these guys. And the same, I honestly didn't think that, Swamp Donkey, as you call him, would be shit canned immediately after, but, I think the death threat thing and, with no substantiation, they just said, you know what, our offense blows nuts. We need to get rid of this guy. But I was very well in tune with that game that Georgia was going to beat the shit out of them, and then I was just going to watch the Penn State game and just laugh as I see the score go 21-0, on the way up. It was great. So congratulations to you guys.
Yeah, transitioning in that, really appreciate that. What do you think Florida's thoughts were? I mean, because Sean will give you his thoughts, but he did win the East back-to-back years, and
Yep.
It's still. He's 3-4, but it's not like, and he got a top 10, top 5 recruiting class. I think 2019 is even looking at number 1. What do you think the reasons were?
Well, I was going to say, it's the fact that the East is such a damn joke that just because you're winning the East, you're really looking like shit in the championship game against Alabama, and it's just all smoke and mirrors. It's not like this is murderer's row in the East, and that's always been the problem. Looking at this, when people, as you guys can empathize, you're like, how the hell is Georgia not winning this division year in year out? And quite frankly, may have underachieved a couple of years, and that may have spelled Rick's doom and the like, but. A dominant Georgia team, and Kirby just got these guys rolling. This is just, these guys can lay the smackdown on their candy asses of the East. Continue. The fact that South Carolina is second, that's a fucking disgrace. This team is a joke. They're a bunch of bums. They're young. They're gutty, as we talked about last time I was on, but they fucking suck, man. It's the fact that Florida, you go back to, I think the last time they had an offense that averaged over 400 yards a game, I think was back in 2009 with Tebow or 2008.
Right.
So this is this is fun and gun. This is a little Spurrier action. People want high-octane offense out of Florida. That's the expectation and the brand of Florida. They've gone through a full-body dry heat for the last 8 to 9 years of this offense eating ass, but having a decent defense and doing enough. But the problem is they want fun football. Putting up 14 points or struggling to move the ball across the 50 doesn't put asses in the seats. And I think that the coup de grace is, I think the nail in the coffin. Guys, I thought I read this, and please correct me if I'm wrong. I thought that Spurrier reached out to Swamp Donkey, and Swamp Donkey put the middle finger to him to say, hey, shut the fuck up, dude, I got this type of thing, and disrespected him.
I did hear that.
To piggyback onto what Jeff is saying, I think that there was a couple of things. Like he said, the East wasn't particularly great. This wasn't a decision that was really based on his success over the last 3 years, because obviously they'd given Muschamp a much longer leash. I think the bigger thing was that he had always butted heads with the administration, and sometimes deliberately so, which doesn't necessarily give you a whole lot of threat, so to speak, when you're looking at something that was this close. But when you're, like after their bowl loss last year, someone asked him if he thought the administration was committed to making Florida a winner. I think his exact words were, well, we'll see this off season. So if you're going to sit there and throw your administration at the bus while speeding down the highway, what do you expect to happen when you're struggling? And I think you add in these rumors of death threats and things like that, which clearly were unsubstantiated. We're also, I think, incredibly insensitive in light of things that are happening in New York and Vegas and some of the other places. He just kind of needed to go.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think everybody was shocked that that Bush Jones wasn't fired first, and that's a whole nother.
Well, and here's another thing I've heard though, that the AD has told them that if Bush Jones gets them to a bowl, his job is safe for another year.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah, that's at least what I've heard from Tennessee people.
Well, they're winning at life. We know that,
Hey, 5-star hearts. Well, looking forward. I know we're not Florida fans here, don't really care. But if you were them, who were some good targets? I know there's been a whole speculation, 10, 15 guys' names or the coaching search. In your opinion, who do you think Florida maybe should try to go after? Either.
From what I've heard, is really I guess there's 3 favoritism. Basically, the booster group at Florida is a bit divided. The old school Steve Spurrier guys want them to make a run at Bob Stoops. Kind of the newer school guys that are maybe in their mid-40s want Mullen, and then the guys slightly younger than that are donating would like them to try to get Scott Frost or Mike Norvell.
Right.
So who knows? To me, you turned down Mullen twice before, and I'm hard-pressed to see how the program wouldn't have been more successful under Mullen than it ever was under Muschamp or certainly under Swamp Donkey. So, I mean, why not go after him? Yeah, you can go after Scott Frost. He's only been a head coach 1 year, and he's doing it at Central Florida, which it's not like you're playing the best competition week in, week out. So who really knows if that translates? Swamp Donkey has the same thing. He came in after coaching at Colorado State and really couldn't hang. And so, for every guy like an Urban Meyer who comes up that way and does well, you've got guys like Tom Herman and Swamp Donkey that just kind of fall on their face. So it's really kind of, to me, do you want somebody you know is going to get your program and your offense head in the right direction now, even if he's not another Spurrier or Meyer, or do you want to kind of roll the dice and risk something blowing up in your face again?
Yeah, who do you think would be a good pick, Jeff, or any idea?
No, I absolutely do. I agree with that. I like Dan Mullen. I mean, the fact that you can take that pile of shit down in Stark Vegas and,
exactly.
And just a few years ago and make them a number one team. Mississippi State, a number one team in America late in the season. And then they can always point to, you got Dak Prescott being the poster child for the NFL, now being Mr. Oikos since Cam Newton's garbage. So he can point to the success of Dak, the success of going in and being NFL and being a successful person. And you can look at Nick Fitzgerald. You can say, look, at Mississippi State, he doesn't get he doesn't get the recruits, but he maximizes the talent. I think Fitzgerald, UT Chattanooga was the only place I think he got a scholarship other than Mississippi State. So and that guy's been out of this world. So I think if you actually gave him good talent, I think the sky's the limit for him. I mean, I think he's a great fit. Now I'm going to throw out a goofy candidate, and this for me makes sense just because of fun and gun. And this guy's an asshole, and it sounds like something he would do. I think a pie-in-the-sky candidate would not surprise me if you give someone like a Bobby Petrino to get out of Louisville because their defense sucks, the O-line sucks, and Lamar Jackson's going to be gone next year. Do not be surprised. That guy's all about offense. To pluck him, he'd leave overnight, just like he did the Falcons, and be an asshole.
Yeah.
But since he got Lamar, he knows Florida. He knows offense. I think that would be a very interesting thing if they went after him. Or, God, I really hope this Lane Kiffin horseshit is just that. I mean, that's just come on, man. What do you guys think of that? I've heard that name turn around. Yeah. I mean, Florida Atlantic's one thing, but this guy, who with the undergrads, with the hot undergrads in Florida, and he's already been accused of hitting on people left, undergrads left and right. I don't think you need that nightmare, that guy.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, I think Petrino, he might get out there and bang some of the co-eds too. He might get in trouble.
Well,
he might get in trouble.
It really says something about a man's character when Al Davis fires you because you're basically an immature asshole.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see the coaching search. Good luck with that. I mean, Florida might be looking at 5-7, 4-8, pretty bad. But moving on, we got Georgia plays South Carolina at home this week. 24-point spread. Got Will Muschamp coming to town. Quote Uncle Lou. Will Muschamp works for UGA. He's 1-4 all time. Yeah, I know he got that win back in 2014 against us, but he struggled against us in the series. But as Jeff mentioned earlier, their South Carolina's pretty spunky. But they've been beating, average teams, Kentucky, Tennessee barely on the last drive. But 24 might be a chance of a rain. But I guess hopefully I'm not looking at a Georgia hangover. But what's your prediction on the game, or what would you like to see? Also, it looks like South Carolina might be having a little more billboard material saying Jake Fromm, only thing to do can run, he can't pass at all. I know Florida guy said that last week. All we do is throw slants. So question is, can you stop that run game? But what are you looking to see this week, Sean?
I mean, I think the spread's probably fair. I think we win 24 points or so. I mean, again, I just don't think. I think we're so much more physically talented, and I think we're just so much more motivated and better coached. I think that's how it's going to go down. I mean, they can kind of say whatever they want. I mean, Braun does enough, and games where he's had to pass, i.e. Mississippi State or Missouri, he's been effective. So, I mean, to me, last year we still beat him by, 10 on the road, give or take?
Yeah, I think it was 13 or 14, and that was an average Georgia team. Yeah, in Columbia.
Right, and so the thing is, this team's light years better. I really don't think South Carolina, so I think they've improved some, and I don't think they've improved to the magnitude to make this a competitive game. I just think we're going to beat them down.
Yeah, I agree. Another good thing for Georgia is pretty much getting all our guys that were banged up. Everybody's pretty much healthy. We still have one more game left with Notre Passek for smoking the marijuana, but he'll be back for Auburn, so we'll be fully loaded, hopefully going in there for a tough matchup. But before we look at the slate of games, anyway, my prediction on that one, I'm going to go 31-10, kind of close in the first half, and then Georgia pulls away in the second half with the running backs, and we just got more depth. Punching the Boom Chickens in the mouth. I like them 31-10. That's my prediction. But before we get into the weekend slate of games, which are pretty good, Sean and I and our buddy Nate Dawg were talking about, and Jeff, you can also give yours if you like.
Well, before we get to that, Jeff, would you like to offer your thoughts on the game this Saturday?
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I agree with both you guys. That number is really tricky. I mean, that thing smells of shit. I think, Trey, I think you're right on, though. I mean, Georgia's going to need the style points. I mean, they're going to need to put the beat down whenever possible and put the pedal to the metal, to make sure that, they're not a pretender in people's eyes or the committee's eyes, which they totally are. The problem being, you got this as a trap game. You have all the emotion from the cocktail party.
Yep.
You got the Plains at the Plains next week. Mm-hmm. This falls in there, and this is a big rivalry game for more South Carolina from the Georgia standpoint. This game's always ugly as hell. Always.
Oh, yeah.
But like you said, the Georgia teams have been average in the past. This one is clearly head and shoulders above the rest. I think this is Trey, I totally agree. I think it's going to be close in the first half. I think there's just too much depth, too much strength. I think they wear these guys down, but I think they fall within that number, that 24. I would take the Cox plus the 24 in the game. But
exactly.
Like I said, I could easily see 31-10, or you could see, again, it's going to be down to that garbage touchdown. Does Eason get in there and they run up the score? Yeah. Or is there just South Carolina get some garbage backdoor horse shit, that means nothing? It's going to come down to one of those garbage scores. But I would take the Cox for to take anybody.
So if you were a betting man, you'd maybe stay away, not too confident, right?
I have a little confidence in South Carolina just because these guys, I mean, they really are plucky. I mean, they've got no talent, but they've hung in every freaking game. They haven't really played anyone. I mean, so I just think they're going to make this game ugly. That's what they've done with every one of their games is make just shit ugly.
Yep.
And I would take them. I feel pretty confident they'll cover the 24. I mean, there's no way they're going to win. I would never be that stupid, but they'll hang in. I think the 24 is a good wager. Plus the 24.
Okay. Good deal. Yeah, and this will be a little bit of a different topic, but we'll go through this real quick, is coaching names, coaching nicknames. I'm going to throw some that Sean and I are what we've heard of, and you can add on, and our buddy Nate Dawg. We were texting the other day. It was pretty funny. All right. First off, since we're playing Will Muschamp this week, we call him a.k.a. Boom Chicken. Also, he works for UGA. Rick, Coach Rick, Mark Rick, is Evil Rick with the goatee, the gray goatee. Ed Orgeron, call him Water Boy because I think Jeff said it before. It looks like he's got marbles in his mouth and he sounds like he's from the Bayou. We'll go with Water Boy. Of course, Jim McElwain, Swamp Donkey, maybe not for much longer. Brett Bielema, to quote Sean, the new Nick Saban, even though he might be getting fired.
New Nick Saban for him, wow.
Yeah, hey, Sean, where'd you hear that from?
I read it on a message board.
I think it was his first year or two.
What is it, the marijuana message board or something? Holy shit.
Well, I think it was because they were basically like poking fun because Brett Bielema was going to come in there and change the program, and then they finally, they upset somebody in his first year. They're like, this guy's the new Nick Saban. This guy's turning things around.
Hey, the only thing they have in
Walsh is right
common.
twice a day. That's all I ever got to say to that.
He does get big offensive linemen, so that's about the only similarity. But he's probably getting fired too. Nick Saban, of course, rat poison. We all know what that's from. Derek Mason, Sean and I always call him Kevin Hart. Maybe because I hate to say he's
Nice.
short. Lane Kiffin, we always call him Gas Pumper. Tell us that story. It's a little inside joke with us.
So Lane Kiffin, when he was recruiting Alshon Jeffrey out of South Carolina, told him that if he went to South Carolina, the only thing he'd end up doing in life was pumping gas.
So we always call him Gas Pumper. Alshon
Nice.
Jeffrey, too. He's on my fantasy team. Anyway. Butch Jones, 5-star Hearts, Fake Media. Of course, Dabo Sweeney, Yabba Dabba Doo. Bill Snyder, Skeletor. Mike Gundy, Mullet. And Jimbo, is it Gollum? Is that what you call him, Sean?
Yeah, those big eyes you've got.
There you go. Jeff, you got anything to add? Sorry, this is off a
I'm
tangent.
just enjoying the ride. I'm just rolling the punches. I got nothing to add. No comment.
I got you. Hey, you got to admit, though, the best hair in the business has got to be Mike Gundy, right?
Mike Gundy's mullet is pretty out of control. That's pretty. Yeah, he's rocking that son of a bitch pretty well.
All right.
We need to get Justin Potter on the mullet, man. I think he can maybe go a few more places with the mullet. He is from Texas, after all.
I think his I think Potter's hair kind of it gets a little curly when he gets along. He always keeps it nice and tidy. Yeah, now we're gonna transition. So the college football playoffs rankings came out last night. Georgia, surprisingly, even though everybody said they had a good a good argument of being number one. So it was Georgia's number one, number two, Alabama, number three, Notre Dame, number four, Clemson, number five, Oklahoma. Mark Richt is number 10, TCU 8, Wisconsin 9. I know I'm going out of order. Penn State 7, 6 is Ohio State. So I want to get your guys' thoughts. I don't, as a Georgia fan, just because I've been through the Rick years. Last time we were ranked number one was 2008. We saw how that turned out with Stafford and Noshawn. I think it was a 10-3 snoozer. Was the Capital One Bowl? It was one of those crappy 11, Big Ten matchups against, forget when it was, like 11 or 12 o'clock game. I think I was hungover when I watched it. I was sleeping on the couch, but I did watch it. But so I just hate having the big target on our back. It's going to be more of a distraction. Kirby already said it was going to be a distraction, but I want to get your guys' thoughts on first week of the college football playoff rankings.
Well, I guess for me, I think that if you're going to go between Alabama and Georgia being objective, I think probably Georgia being ranked higher than Alabama at this point is fair because we've got the road win against Alabama, or the road win, I should say, against Notre Dame. I don't think Alabama has beaten any opponent at home or otherwise the caliber of Notre Dame. So to me, that's fair. I mean, should the road win over Notre Dame necessarily catapult us to number one? I don't know. It's still kind of a situation where, like, you still got to go up and play the games and play the playoffs and see what happens. So, I mean, to me, I thought that they actually got that right. Just at this point in the game, in the season, rather, when you look at who they played and beaten, that win over Notre Dame, especially given them being, 3 or 4 or whatever it is actually pretty impressive.
Actually, I wanted to name this too. This helps the resume. I didn't realize it, but these are in the college football rankings, and we blasted them 38-3. Mississippi State has kind of regrouped, and they're number 16. So we have 2 top 25 wins, which is impressive. I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
So,
that's the reason why you guys are definitely number one. Is it's the ass pounding of Mississippi State when they were on fire, and then you're all worried about them. And said, dude, that's got Georgia ass whipping written all over it. So no, taking care of business to the Bulldogs and to the other Bulldogs, that definitely is why you're number one for sure.
Right.
What did you?
Go ahead. To me, I think Clemson among the one-loss teams being in top 4, I think is fair because they had it actually pretty hellacious first part of their schedule. Granted, they lost to a no-name Syracuse team, but still, they beat Auburn at home. They beat I think they beat 4 straight top 25 teams.
Yeah, Virginia Tech too. Yeah.
So I mean, to me, that's fair. Notre Dame's kind of interesting. I mean, their only loss to us by a point at home. So, I mean, I guess that's fair as well. I mean, who knows? I mean, obviously, I think us and Bama being in there, you look at the Power 5 conferences, it's just us, and I guess Wisconsin is getting snubbed right now that are undefeated. But, again, Wisconsin really hasn't played anybody yet either. So. Yeah.
Central Florida as well, but, of course, that's, Power 5 school, so they're not going to get any love.
Right.
Yeah, I think they're 18.
18, yeah, that's a little low for those guys.
Yeah. Might be looking for a new coach next year, too.
No, they definitely are. I mean, it's just a matter of where he goes, Again, he'll probably, my guess is he'll probably go home to Nebraska would be my guess on that. That's what I was thinking a few weeks ago, and he's doing nothing to, get that paycheck he's getting, it's going to be pretty sweet.
So, Jeff, I know you followed it pretty close. Anybody out of these rankings or maybe the under-the-radar team that everybody should be scared of can make some noise? Anybody that's kind of standing out?
Absolutely. When we talked a few weeks ago, Oklahoma State, this Bedlam game this week is huge. I still don't buy in Boomer Sooner. I think the game's in Stillwater. I think Cowboys, the Pokes go on in, beat them, so that puts the Big 12 in peril. We talked about Wisconsin being that sneaky team that they play a bunch of schmoes.
Yeah.
But they're creating their own destiny. It's just a matter. I mean, could they get tripped up at Indiana? They've got Michigan at home. I don't see that. It'd be that last game of the season again at Minnesota in a rivalry game. But I seriously think they can get in there because in Ohio State, other than beating Penn State, which again that's more of a collapse. Of epic collapse on Penn State. Ohio State did win the game, and they did dominate, the second half for sure. But who else did they beat? That's why I had no problem with them going under Oklahoma. And then Clemson, as much as I don't think they're that good, I'm consistent about State. I've said that all freaking year that I think NC State's going to beat them on Saturday. Syracuse isn't a bunch of schmoes. They almost beat LSU down at LSU, and people were saying, they're giving Orgeron, mushmouth a whole bunch of shit for that game. But they hung with State, at State. They beat Clemson, and everyone is saying that was the injury of Bryant. They were beating them before Bryant went out. So I don't know why people are giving that as an excuse. And then they hung with Miami in that disgusting game down, when Dungy had a bad game in the rain with 4 picks. But they've hung with everybody. So losing to the Qs, that's not a bad loss. So I think the rankings are spot on. You're splitting hairs between 1 and 2, because as well as you can say, it's a great victory, winning by 1 up at Notre Dame, and you beat the shit out of Miss State. At the time, Florida State had that first half won. That was still a championship team at that point. The death spiral has been on the Knolls. That's just the most poorly coached team from pillar to post and a gutless team that doesn't give a shit. But, they've had the heart taken out of them. But at that game, if they didn't have the special teams boners, they definitely gave Alabama every bit. They were as good as Bama and then some. And then one game that doesn't get the love is Bama won 41-10 over Fresno. And Fresno's been tearing up outside of last week, they got upset by UNLV. They've been tearing up the Mountain West. So, it's splitting hairs. You're going to see Georgia, even if Georgia loses, in the SEC championship, pending they get there, which they will. It's just a matter if they lost to Auburn and then they lose to, if they lost to, Auburn and Alabama, could they get in with 2 losses? And that's the question to ask. So.
Yeah, and I keep hearing about Auburn's getting some love. They're 15. I'm ready to punch them in the mouth to get them out because they're saying, well, to beat Georgia and then Alabama and then maybe they can make it an SEC champion. That's a bunch of ifs. So I'm ready to punch them in the mouth and they can.
Don't be
go
surprised if
8-4.
Gus gets fired too. I said that last time we were on. If they get swept by Georgia and Alabama at home,
8-4.
I think it's bye Gus. And if that Arkansas gig gets open, do not be surprised if he goes home to Arkansas. That would not be a shocker to me.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're going to go to the slate of games here. We'll go rapid fire. We can give your picks. These are throwing them at Jeff. We can let him start off. All right. First one, no Swamp Donkey. I think Malik Zaire. It's going to be Florida at Missouri. I believe it's Missouri minus 3.5.
3.5, disgusting line.
Do they have any heart left, or are they going to get up for Randy Shannon?
I disagree. I think this is a game. Randy Shannon's a good freaking coach. I like this. He's a fiery dude. He's already SSU, shaking shit up. So he's giving the Zaire the shot. I think they play fired up. Missouri sucks balls. You know my opinion on Missouri. they've gone and beaten the last 2 weeks they beat the shit out of Idaho and they went up to UConn and beat the hell out of them. Wow,
That was part of one of my parlays. That was it. I forgot. I took Missouri? Minus 14 or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You could beat up on shitty Power 5 teams. Absolutely. Knock yourselves out. But I think because think what the suckers in America would do. They say, "Oh, Florida doesn't have the coach. Let's take Missouri minus that 3.5 at home."
That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking you. I was Mr. Joe Public.
You know my opinion on Odom. I think he sucks nuts. I think Missouri's overrated. The defense still stinks. I think he goes side with Vegas to take Florida plus the 3.5 and 4. I think they come fired up. I won't be surprised to win the game.
They got a pretty good secondary. All you got to do is stop. Maybe they'll actually score some points with Zaire. Let him run around back there.
Well, that's the thing. All you got to do is pop some pressure to freaking Drew Lock. I mean, they still got a good defense. I mean, hell, again, you could put the three of us, like we talked about last time, put Potter. I think we could put 17 on Missouri, and we're out of shape. Well, except for you, Trey. But I think Florida definitely. That's Missouri is going to cure what ails you. Plus the 4 to the bank, baby.
Nice. Hey, any shots? Any thoughts, Sean?
I actually agree with Jeff on that one. I think that a lot of times when you see interim coaches come in, the players tend to rally around them. You saw it with Ogeron last year. Randy Shannon is a good coach. That defense hasn't really been their issue. It's been their offense. So I think getting somebody like Malik Zaire, I think long overdue to get some snaps of the ball. It gives you an extra element in that offense. I think you're going to be able to score enough to win.
I got you. All right, well, I'll put that down as a Sultan one. Lean.
That's a lean, sure. I like that.
I go. All right, next one. You should probably know this one. I know you're an expert on Big Ten. Hey, Penn State minus 8.5 at Michigan State. Michigan State coming off that Northwestern. I believe last week Sultan one goes stay away, no comments. Like, all right, I'm glad because I like Michigan State on that one, but I'm glad I stayed away.
Yeah, that was one that looking at the insider information of the pool I'm in, all the goons had Michigan State. So after getting that, I would have definitely told you to take Northwestern because every chowderhead had them.
Yep.
And I definitely would throw you in that chowderhead bucket. So again, at least we saved you money for not taking the Spartans.
Exactly.
This game, gosh, man, it's a tough one. I mean,
coming off a loss.
Coming off a loss, but Penn State's had murderer's row of the decent defenses in the Big Ten. The problem is, again, I look at that shitty play calling and what they've done. I mean, I love, my thoughts of Saquon from last time. I mean, the guy's definitely the best player in college football. No disrespect to Lamar Jackson, and I love Josh Adams of Notre Dame, but Barkley is awesome. Their kid is amazing. The problem is the play calling sucks, and they key up on him. So they're causing McSorley to freak. They're calling him out to make some pass plays, and I know they got Gesicki is awesome at tight end, but he was so underutilized last game. I think there's a hangover in this game. I know that you could say there's two schools of thought. One, they come up, hey, we're on to East Lansing and we go and pummel these guys, or there's a little bit of a hangover, which I think there is. I mean, when you have a game and then they played not to lose instead of going and pulling down their pants when they had the chance first and goal at 5, up 35-20, and they kick a field goal. I mean, what the fuck was that? That was disgusting. They blew that game. Michigan State's gutty. Their D's going to key up on Barkley. So, again, it's going to be tough sledding for them. I think 7.5, 8's too much. I take the Spartans plus 8 personally.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yep.
Any thoughts, Sean?
Yeah, I agree. I've always been a huge fan of Michigan State's coach, honestly. I know he had that recent loss, but, he's not a guy that gets, particularly highly touted recruits, but he just always managed to put a team together. He's been in the playoffs before. He's won the Big Ten championship, I think, in the last couple years or so.
Yep.
He's got a winning record against Harbaugh and the Bonner Wolverines. So, yeah, I mean, I just honestly I trust him more of a coach at this point than I do Franklin.
All right, good deal. Make note of that one.
I think every goon in America is going to be on Penn State saying, they're going to whip up on them. So I get siding with Vegas, go with the home dog.
All right. Good deal. All right, next one. This one, I like it a whole lot, but I could be the goon, as you call it. Joe Goon here. How about Virginia Tech minus 3 at the U Miami?
Oh, God. After that disgusting performance that Miami – this was I'm mad at myself because in this pool, I'm a diehard UNC guy. My opinion that UNC sucks worse than Mizzou. I mean, they're just fucking terrible right now. I loved Miami last week, but in hindsight, this is what I call. I should have listened to. This would have been what I call my dick theory. Miami is not 20 in my half over my dick on the road. Over anybody. I don't care who the fuck it is. Miami, I mean, UNC had a third-string quarterback, the backup running back, and again, their number one receiver for UNC is already their fifth-string receiver. Miami could only win by 5, and they should have lost the game. UNC early in the game had first and goal at the 1 and got stuffed. There's a touchdown called back. Miami is the most overrated top 10 team I have seen since Ole Miss was ranked number 3 to start the season, going down to Columbia. And I was at that game. I was dating a bitch from Ole Miss at the time. And I was there, and I fucking taunted the shit out of her because I knew South Carolina was going to beat the Ric Flair number 3 team. Sure enough, what did Cocky do? They beat the crap out of them. Miami just blows. This team sucks. -3. Take the fucking turkeys all day. Miami's just god-awful. They're just so fucking terrible. Take the turkeys.
Before Sean, I'm going to give you Sean here. Hey, we're coming back with our beloved Mart Rick. No trenches, no offensive line, going against your boy Fuente. Who you got, Sean?
I got Fuente. The other thing, too, is Mark Rick's team's notorious for failing to cover the spread anyway.
Exactly. All right. Hey, I like that one. All right, so I'm not Joe Goon on that one. We got Vatek. Okay, moving along. This will be 1-800-SALT-and-1 wacky game of the week. I'm digging down deep on this. Hey, I'm going against my alma mater just because they fired their coach. Hey, how about Georgia State -3.5 against the shitty-ass Eagles of Statesboro? They just fired their coach. At Georgia Southern. Hey, guess what? I'm a Georgia Southern alum, but I don't follow them at all. I just know they fired their coach.
Oh, my God. This is literally – it's like the shit bowl of this one, dude. Actually, I was surprised you didn't ask me Charlotte Old Dominion. That's another pile of shit.
I'm surprised there's spreads on these games.
You know what? I'm gonna, I honestly, you caught me a little off guard. I'm gonna take a look at Georgia State against the number. I think they've been pretty solid. Hold on one sec.
But Georgia, I don't even know if Georgia Southern's won a game, and they fired their coach.
4-3. Okay, that's what I thought. I know Georgia Southern is fucking absolutely putrid.
Fired their coach.
I've stayed clear of them every fucking game, but they did cover, I think, against New Mexico State, because I think New Mexico State was like that. Yeah, they're 2-5 against the number. Let me take a look at their trend before I give you anything here. All right. Oh, these guys. They did. Oh, they got a laugher cover against Troy last week. Okay, so it was 38-16. They're getting 23.5. I love UMass the week that UMass was favored by 7.5 over them. God, Georgia State really blows. This is almost borderline my dick theory. Should Georgia State be 3.5 over anybody on the road?
Stay away.
Now I got insider information that you are a Georgia Southern alum. I never known that. The program is, this is a disgrace. They're used to 9-10 win seasons.
Exactly.
But I'm going to say they suck so bad. But you know what? They've got nothing to play for. They've got App. This is like their only winnable game. I'd say take Georgia Southern plus the 3.5. That's disgusting.
All right,
I can't even believe you even asked that. But I'll take a slight lean to Georgia Southern.
I got no comment. I guess I'll take Georgia Southern on that. Just to smile on that.
You just leave that alone. That's just a game between two really shitty Sun Belt teams, and just like wow,
Exactly.
All right, on to the next one. It should be good. And Jeff's already been talking about this for a while. All right, Clemson -7.5 at NC State Raleigh, probably with the black jerseys.
Sean, lead this one, man. I definitely Trey knows my opinion on this. So,
honestly, like I haven't seen enough of NC State to say that they're the world beaters people make them out to be.
Notre Dame just beat them by 21 to pull them out.
Exactly, and that was another one where people were calling upset. I still think it's Clemson.
Yeah. Defensive line.
They've got enough weapons. They've got a good offensive line, good enough running game. I don't know necessarily that they win by 21 or anything. I think they probably win by 10. It's still NC State we're talking about.
See. That's very true. Exactly. You're talking about Wolfie. That's the one thing that, you got the history of ineptitude and incompetence, at your side, at your disposal. But I was really, because that was the thing I talked about a few weeks ago. It's like, Notre Dame was going to be the X factor for a lot of these games because they play, a lot of good teams. I got to give it to Notre Dame that, like, their defense, I think they got Mike Elko off of Wake Forest, and that guy's made that defense lights out. But the key was, I said that game would be in the trenches because Notre Dame's arguably got the number one offensive line in the nation. And, again, they have 3 guys, 2 definitely first-rounders, potentially 3 on that line. And they wore down that front seven. I didn't think NC State's front seven would wilt like that, but just like, the parting of the Red Sea, Josh Adams had his typical 180-yard run where everyone, just perfect blocking, and he knows what to do with it. I mean, I was surprised that they could do that in State. They were gassed. I don't think Clemson's got the running game to do that to them. Their offense is not dynamic, and they won't smash mouth them enough. Now, the Clemson defense is nasty, but, Notre Dame's D played well last week, so it's not like, I wouldn't say Clemson and Notre Dame's D are on par, but Notre Dame's definitely got a little kick bite to them. I definitely like the Wolfpack plus the 8.
Is that Kelly kid 100%? Because they said he took another, almost like he rolled his ankle again. Is he 100%, or he's just kind of pushing through?
I'm thinking. I think the ankle's going to be something he plays with the rest of the season until the bowl season to let it heal up. I mean, so his mobility. I mean, they're predicated on his mobility. And we'll see pretty quick when Chubb's right up his ass to see how quick he can run with that ankle. So
exactly.
Now I think State being it's going to be 8 at home. They choked last year. There's a lot to play for. I think they definitely bounce back. I mean, I think that last week they just got punched in the mouth, but this week I've been saying all year I like plus 8.
Just clever.
I wouldn't even be a bit surprised if you do a little money line plus 200 or whatever the hell it is.
Oh,
do
wow.
a little wager on that.
I got you. All right, Good deal. All right, next one, real quick here. Ohio State minus 17.5 at Iowa, waving at the cancer patients. I like that when they played them close earlier. Iowa always pretty tough at home. Thoughts on that one? Pretty big spread.
Yep, it's a big number. Again, this is like a letdown written all over for Ohio State. Everyone's saying, oh, they got a cakewalk. Iowa at home, man. They're tough to freaking beat. I mean, Penn State had to have that Ric Flair late touchdown, miracle ending. They haven't happened. I'm not sure of the weather. I haven't looked that far in advance. I'm not sure if it's going to snow or be windy or cold, but 17 at Iowa, that's a lot of fucking points, man. I love, home dogs. If you see this trend that I'm giving you,
Yep.
Home dogs are barking here the first weekend in November. Take Iowa plus the 17.
Woo! There you go.
Woo!
There we go.
Kid.
All right, and this one could be looking at Joe Blow, Goon here, spread. That's what I'll get your thoughts on this. Look kind of interesting. Stanford plus 2 at the Raging Cajun Mike Leach, Washington State. How about that one at Washington State?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one to research because I'm not sure what the hell the quarterback situation is. I think he outright benched Luke Falk in the game last week against Arizona. I wasn't up watching that game. I was a dumbass, and actually for my fantasy team, I needed a quarterback that I think would score a lot of points. I picked up Falk, and I saw he got benched. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me, man. So Stanford, though, I'm assuming Bryce Love will be back, but, that's the strength. Washington State's run D is pretty solid. I mean, it's not like it's going to be the Arizona, Desert Swarm attack of, zone read of Khalil Tate and J.J. Taylor going on. Stanford's Kellen Chris is a shitty quarterback. I mean, it's going to be cold. It's gross. 2 is low. That line smells of shit, but I wouldn't take Stanford. I would take Washington State at home minus the 2.5.
All right, gotcha. Any thoughts on that, Sean? Mike Leach?
Yeah, I kind of echo what Jeff's saying, honestly.
I got you.
I think he's right.
All right, one more before the dog of the week, just because we got to throw that in here. Of course, I want to see what Jeff got this. Hey, Wake Forest heading on down to touchdown Jesus. Rudy again. Notre Dame minus 14. Wake coming to town. Kind of a spunky Wake team.
Spunky Wake team. These guys just either backdoor cover, they hang in. I mean, again, last week I've said the Louisville defense is a disgrace, but they take care of business. I mean, their D knows how to shut. I mean, they shut down the pass very well. The problem is, and I just got word this, the number one receiver had 4 touchdowns last week. I think he's out for the year. So that's a huge playmaker not there.
For Wake?
For Wake, yeah. Double G. Greg Roach is his name, I think, is out for the year. Wake has really been good on the number. They've been 5-2. They're 5-2 against the number. I think they have a push as well, depending on what line you get. I just like the Irish, man. I think this is just, again, that line just grinds on you. They don't need to have – Wimbush just needs to make enough plays. The Wake passing D is good. They're just going to smash mouth these guys, and this is just going to be, hey, we're Notre Dame. We've got the beef. You're Wake Forest, one of the smallest enrollment schools in all 1A. we're just going to take you behind the woodshed. We're gonna beat the shit out of you. We're going to put touchdowns late in that second half to drive up the score. Take the Irish minus the 2 touchdowns.
Nice. All right. Good rapid fire picks there. I made notes of all these. I'll probably hit up Jeff again on Friday or Saturday.
I'm sure you will.
Just to aggravate him. I don't know if John dropped off there. He might have had a call or something. But I'm going to go to Trey's Dawg of the Week. I know it's been 2 off. I believe I am 6-1. I don't really look at this as a dog. This could be the goon of the week, but I might be going against Joe Public here, and I'll get. But I'm going to go with. It is an underdog just because of the spread. I'm going to go with Iowa State +2, number 14 at West Virginia. Terrible state, burning some couches. But I like Iowa State with that defense, slowing down Will Grier, the ex-Florida coach. I'm going to throw this out here coming from right field. Just because I've been playing with a second or third string quarterback, if I was Florida, I'd call that Iowa State coach because he's been rolling, son.
Yeah, Matt Campbell's good, man. And Toledo was really high-octane offense before, so that's not a bad call either on Matt Campbell. But
I like Iowa State +2 on the road. Trey's Dawg of the Week.
That's not a goon. I think everyone's going to be on West Virginia, to be quite honest with you. So I think you're anti-goon on that one. This Iowa State team's plucky, man. These guys play very, very hard. I mean, at some point, is the clock going to strike 12 on them?
Exactly.
And, people always love to give West Virginia the love at home, and you saw Oklahoma State slapped them last week. It's not that bad, man. I mean, I don't really have a say either way, but,
Or would you say stay away?
I would say stay away. I personally would say stay away because West Virginia's been nothing but disappointing. I think Holgerson's a shitty coach. He's overrated.
No defense, too, right?
Yep, no defense. But Iowa State's got a good thing going there. I mean, they've got the mojo. I mean, if anything, I would say, God, I can't even believe I'm saying this. I'd side with your punk ass if I had to take anything.
So here we go, man. To summarize things, if I was doing a teaser,
Oh, my Lord. I don't recommend
teaser.
God bless.
Teaser 3-team parlay. I'm going with Georgia Southern. I'm going with Iowa State.
We'll put Georgia Southern in
and I'm throwing Washington State in there on a 3-team parlay for $500. We're asking for the money on Saturday night. Come on, get your bookie, take your money. Sorry, stay away from those. All right, well. Anything else you want to have? How's the last but not least? How's the Nasty Nine doing there, Jeff? I know you're the Prez.
Nasty Nine ate a freaking bag of dicks last week because all my key picks sucked. Okay. I was a dumbass and took Miami. Fucking Michigan pissed me off. They didn't cover. Now I said I made the call. They should have gone. My opinion on O'Corn last time. I told you he sucks. Well, they waited till the second quarter to bench him, and Peters did great. But they just didn't cover. And then freaking SMU didn't cover. Yeah, I went 0-3 in the key picks. I ate it last week. Bad.
Sorry.
So
how'd Potter do?
Wasn't too thrilled about it.
You all right? How'd Justin do?
How did Justin do? I don't know. He's like an afterthought in this pool this year. Let's see. You know what? I'll take a look for you.
Speaking of that, I was telling him that earlier because I told him we're going to have Jeff on. I was like, Jeff will have all of his key picks and all his picks in by Thursday night because there's Tuesday night wacky games, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I figured all your picks are in before Saturday.
Oh, I'm already 0-2. I picked both winners last night. They both shit the bed hard.
I was about to say, he'll have all his picks in by Saturday. He didn't even need to watch any games.
Oh, yeah. No, that's not true. Actually, I do have a key pick on Toledo tomorrow, so I do like them a lot.
There you go. Is that a little insider?
He did pretty well last week. Yeah, an 8-point week. Got to say, I can't really knock him too much. He did pretty well.
Nice.
Yep.
All right, man. Hey, appreciate 1-800-SALT-1. Anything to get off your chest before we leave? Hey, cut me a promo real quick. Anything? How about
anything to get off my chest? Yeah. Don't gamble. Retire. Just get the hell out of the game, dude. You and your damn parlays and teasers going to drive me fucking crazy.
3-team, 14 parlay lock of the week.
Oh, my God. I could go like this. I could go 1-800-SALT-1. My God. A $500 parlay of the week. Is that what you want me to do? Yes, I can do this. I can give you pick after pick. 1-800-SALT-1. That's 1-800-SALT-1.
Hey, 1-800-SALT-1. Lock of the week. Lock of the year. Take Georgia Southern plus 3.5 in the points.
I absolutely despise that game. You freaking clown. Watch Georgia Southern win by 25. We had the spread minus 21. It doesn't matter. You take the Eagles.
There you go, my alumni. Terrible. Hate to even say, hey, that's why I'm a Georgia fan.
Right, baby.
All right, man. Hey, appreciate you coming on again. 1-800-SALTON-1. Hopefully have him on later in the year. It'd be great to have 1-800-SALTON-1 and Uncle Lou. If you haven't checked him out, Jeff, look up Uncle Lou. Great. He's got a lot of subscribers. Georgia fan, true and true. That kid's getting over. But
well, whenever you want me on, sucker, just let me know and hit him with the hey.
Thanks, man. Hey, thanks for joining us again, Herschel Talkers, and we're out. Sean, working man, swig a beer. All right, we're out. Thanks, man.
No problem.